When people in Maplewood, Ohio talk about strong women, they always pictured the young ones, educated, outspoken, the ones with shiny resumes. No one looks at a 65-year-old widow in a plain sweater, hands rough from years of cleaning houses, and imagines strength. But if they knew Maria Thompson's life, they'd bow their heads. She was only 27 when death knocked the first time. Her husband, Daniel, was the love story small towns gossiped about. Late-night diner runs, road trips in an old Chevy, laughing until their ribs hurt. They had 2 kids, Emma, 4, with curls like sunshine, and little Noah, 2, who clung to Maria's leg like he was glued there. And then one winter morning, he didn't come home. A truck lost control on black ice. That's all the sheriff could say. Maria didn't remember much after that, just the sound of Emma crying, Noah asking where Daddy went, and her own voice breaking as she whispered, "He's in a better place, baby. He's safe now." Except nothing felt safe. She spent nights on the kitchen floor, pressing her face into folded dish towels so the kids wouldn't hear her sobbing. But she got up every morning, packed lunches, walked them to school, smiled through cracked pieces, because she believed in one thing. Her children would never grow up feeling alone. Daniel's parents owned a small construction supply business near Columbus, and they stepped in without hesitation. They said, "We'll help you through this," his mother had said, holding Maria's hand like it was fragile glass. They paid the bills, bought the groceries, covered school clothes. So Maria built her entire life around her kids. No dating, no vacations, no dreams of her own. Just Emma's school projects and Noah's scraped knees and the tiny joys that kept her heart beating. And the older Noah grew, the more he looked like Daniel. Same gentle eyes, same shy smile, same habit of hugging her from behind while she cooked. She would freeze every time, just for a second, letting herself pretend Daniel was still there. By the time he graduated high school, Maria believed she had made it through the worst storm of her life. She could finally breathe again. Her boy was responsible, kind, the sort who opened doors for strangers and checked on neighbors living alone. "He's gonna be your shelter someday," people told her, and Maria believed it deep in her bones. But fate wasn't done with her. Because just when Maria thought life couldn't take anything else from her, a single phone call at 2:17 a.m. would tear her world apart all over again. Maria says, "I still remember that night like it's stitched into my bones. The soft hum of the ceiling fan, the quiet room, and then that one phone call. The phone that changed everything. It rang once, twice, a strange number. I almost ignored it, but the moment I picked it up, the world around me stopped breathing. "Ma'am, are you related to Daniel Brooks? There was this choking pause. An accident. You need to come to Mercy General right now." My heart didn't beat, it fell. I grabbed my sweater, barely remembering to lock the door, my hands shaking so violently I could hear my keys rattling. The drive to the hospital felt like the longest stretch of hell anyone could ever live through. Every red light mocked me. Every passing headlight felt like a silent countdown. When I reached the ER, they were already wheeling my son away. I only got a glimpse, just his hand, limp, pale, an oxygen mask covering most of his face. 1,000 needles pierced through my chest all at once. "Is he okay? Please tell me he's okay," I begged the doctor. But the only thing I got was a cold, clinical answer. "He's alive for now. He's on a ventilator, We're trying. Trying. Such a small word, such a cruel word. Hours bled into each other. Nurses pacing, machines beeping, people prying around me, everyone living their own private tragedies. And there I was, stuck between hope and hopelessness, afraid to breathe too loudly in case the universe took it as a sign to take him away. I whispered prayers with a trembling voice. I replayed every memory of him, from his first steps to his graduation day. What kind of mother outlives her own child? What kind of fate punishes a woman twice? Then the ICU doors opened again. The doctor walked toward me, his face carved with exhaustion, and I knew. I knew before he even said the words. "Ma'am, there's been a decline. You should prepare." The rest of his sentence never reached me. My world had already collapsed. But what happened next didn't just break me, it pushed me into a decision that would change the rest of my life forever. The morning they disconnected the ventilator, the world felt quieter, as if it was holding its breath with me. No mother should ever have to nod when the doctor asks, "Are you ready?" Ready? What does that even mean? I held Noah's cold hand, whispering, "Baby, Mama's right here. You're not alone." His heartbeat, once loud enough to fill a home, faded into a thin, soft line that vanished far too quickly. And with it, a part of me died too. The funeral felt unreal. People hugged me, cried beside me, told me he was in a better place. But no one understood that my place had been taken away, that the best part of my life was buried 6 feet under. When everyone left, the silence in the house grew into something monstrous. His room, his trophies, his jacket still hanging behind the door, his voice echoing between the walls. I would sit on his bed, holding his pillow, breathing in whatever was left of him. My daughter, Emily, tried to stay strong, sometimes too strong, but at night I could hear her muffled sobs through the thin apartment walls. Weeks passed, then months, but grief doesn't read calendars. My husband's family, who once promised lifelong support, began shifting away quietly. The business money slowed, the calls stopped, the visits became rare excuses. And then one day, Emily walked into my room with her passport in hand. "Mom, let's leave. Let's start over somewhere. I can't stay where every street reminds me of him." Her voice cracked, and something inside me cracked with it. Leaving the town where I raised both my babies, leaving the home where his laughter once lived, it felt like ripping my own skin off. But staying felt like drowning. I sold what little we owned, packed memories into cardboard boxes that felt too small and too cruel, and for the first time in decades, I boarded a plane with no destination in my heart, only escape. I didn't know what waited for me in another country, but I knew staying wasn't living. Yet, once we moved, life didn't magically get easier. In fact, the next chapter brought a truth I wasn't emotionally prepared to face. Moving to a new country was supposed to feel like hope, like a fresh breath. But the moment I stepped into that unfamiliar airport, the weight of what I left behind pressed against my ribs. Emily tried her best to keep me distracted. "Mom, we'll be okay. We'll build something new." But even she couldn't hide the sadness swimming behind her hopeful smile. We rented a tiny apartment, a narrow hallway, 2 small bedrooms, and a kitchen window that overlooked a busy street. Life here was different, faster, colder, but also strangely healing. I worked small jobs, cleaning offices in the evening, sewing clothes late at night. Emily picked up shifts at a cafe while finishing school. We laughed sometimes, we argued sometimes, we survived always. But grief is a house guest that never leaves. Every time I passed by a boy wearing a backpack, I felt a sting. Every time I heard a mother call Noah in a grocery store, my heart dropped. Every birthday, every Christmas, every single Mother's Day, there was a chair that stayed empty, a silence that grew louder. People say time heals. They're wrong. Time teaches you how to carry pain without collapsing. Years later, Emily got married and moved out. The house felt empty again, but this time a kinder empty, a peaceful empty. And me, I learned to stitch my heart the way I stitched clothes, slowly, patiently, imperfectly. I found small joys in small things. Plants on windowsills, quiet walks, the softness of morning sun. But even now, every night, I sit by my bedroom window, staring at the sky, and whisper, "Good night, Noah. Mama still misses you." Not with tears, not with screams, but with a gentle ache. An ache that became part of who I am. This story isn't about tragedy. It's about surviving what should have killed me. It's about a woman who lost everything twice and still found a way to stand. And if you're listening right now, maybe you've lost someone too. Maybe you're trying to learn how to breathe again. Just know, if I could rebuild my life from ashes, so can you.
If this story touched a part of your heart, even a little, remember,